Think of the most basic food rule you follow. That one piece of advice you've heard 1,000 times. There's a good chance it was born from a marketing campaign, a wartime conspiracy, or just plain bad science. Today, we're not just correcting facts. We're tearing down the entire library of nutritional lies you've been forced to memorize. Brace yourself, because the truth is about to get messy. 1. You can thank World War II propaganda for the pervasive myth that carrots give you superhuman night vision. The story isn't about nutrition, it's about espionage. When the British Royal Air Force developed game-changing airborne radar to shoot down German bombers at night, they didn't want the enemy to know. So they fed the press a brilliant lie. Their ace pilot's incredible accuracy was due to a diet rich in carrots. While vitamin A in carrots is vital for preventing vision deficiencies, it won't turn you into a nocturnal predator. Unless you're suffering from a severe vitamin shortage, eating a bushel of carrots will do absolutely nothing to help you spot a black cat in a coal cellar at midnight. It was just a clever trick to hide their tech. 2. The 5-second rule is a universally accepted law of physics that allows us to salvage a fallen piece of deliciousness from a questionable floor. We all chant it as we scoop up a dropped cookie, pretending we've outsmarted science. The truth is, bacteria are not polite little creatures who wait for a 5 count before they swarm your food. They transfer almost instantaneously. The amount of bacteria that latches on depends on the food's moisture and the surface's cleanliness, not your reaction time. That dropped piece of cake isn't just a little dirty. It's a bacterial rave party that started the microsecond it made contact. The only thing the 5-second rule protects is your desire to eat that cookie. 3. The idea that breakfast is the most important meal of the day wasn't discovered in a lab. It was invented in a marketing boardroom. We have 19th-century cereal companies, most notably Kellogg's, to thank for this enduring piece of dogma, created to sell more processed grains. Your body does not have a magical 8 a.m. timer that dictates metabolic success for the rest of the day. The importance of breakfast is entirely dependent on the individual. For some, it's essential for energy and focus. For others, skipping it is perfectly fine. The notion that foregoing a morning meal sends your body into some kind of starvation mode panic is pure, unadulterated advertising genius. 4. The multi-million-dollar industry selling detox teas and juice cleanses is built on one fantastically insulting premise: that your body is an idiot. They want you to believe your insides are a toxic, sludgy swamp that can only be purified by their expensive, laxative-infused water. Here's a little secret they don't want you to know. You already have a highly sophisticated, multi-million-dollar detox system working 24/7. It's called your liver and kidneys. While you're sipping that grim, kale-flavored concoction, your actual organs are doing the real work, probably laughing at the overpriced placebo you just bought. These cleanses don't flush out mythical toxins. They just flush out your money, your dignity, and any solid food you ate in the last 48 hours. 5. The idea that eating fat makes you fat is perhaps the most damaging and successful lie in the history of modern nutrition. For decades, this simple, catchy phrase launched a war on fat. The result? A multi-billion-dollar industry of sad, tasteless, low-fat products. But when food manufacturers removed fat, they had to replace it with something to make the food edible. Their weapon of choice? Sugar and refined carbohydrates. So while people diligently ate their fat-free yogurt and cardboard-like cookies, they were unknowingly consuming the very ingredients that actually contribute to weight gain and metabolic issues. We blamed the wrong villain, and our collective health paid the price. 6. Reaching for the brown sugar packet instead of the white one at the coffee shop feels like a small health victory, a responsible choice. It's a complete and utter illusion. Brown sugar is not some rustic, unprocessed gift from nature. It's just refined white sugar with a fake tan. Seriously, it's white sugar that has had a tiny bit of molasses sprayed back onto it for color and a slightly different taste. That molasses contains trace amounts of minerals, but the quantity is so laughably small it's basically nutritional dust. Choosing brown sugar for its health benefits is like choosing a cigarette with a filter over one without. You're still just mainlining sugar, but you feel slightly better about it. 7. Tossing out the golden, nutrient-packed egg yolk was one of the great tragedies of diet culture. For decades, people feared its cholesterol like it was nuclear waste. But here's the twist. Your liver already makes cholesterol, and when you eat more, it simply makes less. For most people, eggs barely nudge blood cholesterol at all. The real culprits for heart issues are trans fats and ultra-processed junk. Sure, some folks with genetic conditions should watch their numbers. But for everyone else, ditching the yolk means throwing away vitamins, healthy fats, and flavor. The egg never deserved the hate. 8. The tyrannical rule of 8 8-ounce glasses of water a day has haunted us for generations, turning perfectly hydrated people into paranoid water-chugging machines. Terrified, their organs will turn to dust if they miss a glass. This ridiculously specific number originates from a misinterpretation of a 1945 recommendation that stated people need about that much water, but then failed to mention that a huge chunk of it comes from the food you eat. Fruits, vegetables, and even your morning coffee contribute to your hydration. Your body isn't a simple machine that requires a fixed amount of fuel. It's a complex system with a built-in indicator: thirst. Listen to your body, not some arbitrary decades-old rule. 9. Calling fruit juice healthy is the nutritional equivalent of calling a donut breakfast. Once you squeeze that fruit, you strip away its best feature, fiber, and end up with fast-absorbing sugar water. Without the fiber, your blood sugar spikes like it's on a roller coaster. Yes, a small glass occasionally won't ruin you, but that giant jug of orange juice is basically liquid candy in disguise. The problem isn't that juice is evil. It's that people treat it like a health drink instead of what it really is: dessert in a bottle. 10. Let's be clear. Your body is not a gremlin. Feeding it after 8 p.m. won't magically cause it to multiply into fat cells. The myth that late-night eating automatically leads to weight gain is based on the absurd idea that your metabolism clocks out and goes to sleep when the sun goes down. Your body doesn't have a magical nighttime clock that transforms a calorie into more fat just because it's dark outside. The real reason people associate late-night eating with weight gain is because no one is sitting down at 11 p.m. to binge-eat a kale salad. They're mindlessly devouring an entire pint of ice cream or a family-sized bag of chips while staring at a screen. It's not the time that's the problem. It's the poor, high-calorie choices you're making in your pajamas. 11. The word natural plastered on a box of cookies. It's like a warm, reassuring hug from the marketing department, whispering that your terrible decision is actually a wholesome one. Here's a fun fact. The term natural on a food label is about as regulated as a toddler's temper tantrum. It means practically nothing. Arsenic is natural, crude oil is natural, poison ivy is all natural. The FDA has no real definition for it, allowing companies to slap it on products filled with high fructose corn syrup and processed ingredients, so long as they originated from a natural source. That all-natural cane sugar is still just sugar, engineered to make you feel virtuous while you mainline a dessert that's only slightly healthier than eating the cardboard box it came in. 12. The word organic on a food label is treated like a magical health halo, instantly absolving any nutritional sins. An organic cookie, in many minds, is practically a vitamin. This belief is a testament to brilliant marketing, not nutritional science. Organic refers strictly to farming methods, no synthetic pesticides or fertilizers. It says nothing about the food's actual nutritional profile. Study after study has found that organic produce offers no significant increase in vitamins or minerals compared to its conventional counterpart. So when you buy organic cane sugar, you're not buying health. You're buying regular sugar that was grown on a more expensive lawn. The main benefit is reduced pesticide exposure, not a free pass to eat junk food. 13. Unless you have celiac disease or a genuine non-celiac gluten sensitivity, embarking on a gluten-free diet for health is the nutritional equivalent of wearing a cast on a perfectly healthy arm. It's a pointless, self-imposed restriction fueled by wellness trends. Gluten is simply a protein found in wheat, and for 99% of the population, it's completely harmless. But here's the kicker: many processed gluten-free products are actually less healthy than their gluten-containing counterparts. To make gluten-free bread and cookies taste like something other than sadness, manufacturers often load them up with extra sugar, fat, and refined starches. So you proudly ditch the whole wheat bread for a gluten-free brick that has more calories and less fiber. Congratulations, you played yourself. 14. The poor microwave. It's been demonized for decades as a futuristic radiation box that zaps your food, leaving behind a lifeless, nutrient-depleted husk. This fear is completely backward. The truth is, microwaving is one of the best cooking methods for preserving nutrients. Nutrient loss in food is caused by two main things: high heat and long cooking times, especially in water. Microwaves cook food incredibly fast and usually require very little water. The real nutrient assassin in your kitchen is that pot of boiling water you use to turn your vibrant broccoli into a soggy, green corpse. Boiling leaches out water-soluble vitamins, creating a sad vegetable graveyard. Your microwave is a nutrient saver, not a destroyer. 15. The beloved myth of a glass of red wine for your heart is marketing perfection. The supposed hero, resveratrol, exists, but in doses so tiny you'd need to drink gallons for it to matter, which kind of ruins the point. Moderate drinking might not destroy you, but alcohol is still a toxin your body has to detoxify. Any minor antioxidant perk is wiped out by the downsides if you overdo it. So sure, enjoy your wine. Just stop pretending it's a health supplement with a cork. 16. Sports drinks have brilliantly convinced the average person that a 30-minute jog requires the same rehydration strategy as a Tour de France cyclist. These neon-colored sugar waters were designed for one specific purpose: to replenish carbohydrates and electrolytes for elite athletes during prolonged, intense exercise lasting over an hour. For the person doing a moderate workout at the gym, chugging a sports drink is an incredibly efficient way to immediately undo any caloric deficit they just created. You're not replacing lost glycogen. You're just drinking liquid candy with a dash of salt. For most workouts, water is, and always will be, perfectly sufficient. 17. The gym bro gospel of eating 6 small meals a day to stoke the metabolic fire is a myth that refuses to die. The theory is that frequent eating keeps your metabolism running at a higher rate. This is based on a misunderstanding of the thermic effect of food, sake TEF, the calories your body burns digesting a meal. While TF is real, it's proportional to the size of the meal. Burning the calories from a 2,400-calorie diet spread across 6 400-calorie meals is the same as burning them across 3 800-calorie meals. Your metabolism is not a campfire that needs constant kindling. It's a furnace that burns based on total fuel load, not on how often you shovel it in. 18. For decades, the poor, misunderstood chili pepper has been wrongfully accused of gastric terrorism, blamed for burning holes in people's stomachs and causing ulcers. It's a classic case of blaming the spicy, exciting victim for a crime it didn't commit. The real culprits behind most stomach ulcers were unmasked years ago: a bacterium called H. pylori and the overuse of NSAID painkillers like ibuprofen. Spicy food doesn't cause ulcers. What it can do is irritate an already existing one, which is like pouring salt on an open wound. It's gonna hurt like hell, but the salt didn't create the wound in the first place. So go ahead, enjoy that spicy dish. The chili pepper has been officially exonerated. 19. The phrase, "a calorie is a calorie," sounds logical, until you realize your body isn't a campfire, it's a chemistry lab. 100 calories of soda and 100 calories of chicken don't play by the same rules. Protein burns more energy to digest and keeps you full, while sugar hits your bloodstream like a freight train. Still, energy balance matters. Eat more than you burn, and you'll gain weight. But how those calories act inside you determines whether you stay satisfied or stay snacking. Same math, totally different outcome. 20. The public execution of high-fructose corn syrup made it seem like we'd found the one true demon responsible for all our dietary sins. The shocking truth: it's practically the identical twin of regular table sugar. Table sugar, sucrose, is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. HFCS is typically 55% fructose and 45% glucose. Your body metabolizes them in almost the exact same way. Blaming HFCS while giving table sugar a pass is like arguing whether it's worse to be hit by a red bus or a blue bus. The problem isn't the specific molecular arrangement. It's the sheer, overwhelming quantity of sugar we consume in any form. The villain isn't a single ingredient, it's the dose. 21. Gourmet sea salt has masterfully convinced people that it's the healthy, virtuous cousin of lowly, industrial table salt. The reality is that paying a premium for Himalayan pink salt for health reasons is like paying $100 for artisan air. Chemically, all salt is about 98% sodium chloride. Those pretty pink crystals get their color from trace minerals, but the amounts are so infinitesimally small, they have zero impact on your health. In fact, by shunning cheap table salt, you might actually be missing out on iodine, a crucial nutrient added to prevent thyroid problems. You're paying 10 times the price for a salt that is, ironically, less nutritionally complete. 22. The clean eating philosophy has created a toxic, all-or-nothing mindset where a single, bad meal can feel like a catastrophic failure that derails weeks of progress. This is a lie. Your body is not a pristine temple that is permanently defiled by one slice of pizza. It's a resilient, adaptable system that responds to long-term patterns, not isolated events. Health and fitness are built on consistency over time. Having one unhealthy meal doesn't ruin your diet, just as eating one salad doesn't make you a health icon. Thinking one flat tire means you should slash the other three is insane. Yet that's exactly the logic this toxic mindset promotes. 23. Almond milk has cultivated an image of pristine, plant-based purity. The reality is that most commercial almond milk is a masterpiece of food engineering that contains almost no almonds. If you look at the ingredients, you'll find it's primarily water, thickened with gums and emulsifiers, with a whisper of actual almond content, often around 2%. You are essentially drinking elegantly packaged, nut-flavored water with some added vitamins to make it seem nutritionally relevant. Comparing its protein content to dairy milk or even soy milk is a joke. It's not necessarily unhealthy, but calling it almond milk feels like a generous exaggeration. 24. There is a deep-seated fear in certain corners of the fitness world that a single block of tofu could single-handedly dismantle a man's masculinity. This soy phobia is based on a massive misunderstanding of plant compounds called phytoestrogens. These compounds are not the same as human estrogen. They are incredibly weak and can even have a mild blocking effect on your body's actual estrogen receptors. Overwhelming scientific evidence from numerous human studies shows that consuming soy in normal amounts has no significant effect on testosterone or other hormone levels in men. The idea that a plant-based protein will ruin your gains is a myth that needs to be put to rest. 25. Artificial sweeteners promise the dream. Endless sweetness, zero guilt. But biology doesn't fall for marketing. These sugar stand-ins are hundreds of times sweeter than the real thing, which can make natural foods taste dull and ramp up cravings for extreme sweetness. Some studies even hint at changes in gut bacteria, though results are mixed and vary from person to person. They're not instant poison, but they're no magic loophole either. Think of them as a tricky middleman in your sugar negotiations, one your body's still trying to figure out. 26. For decades, saturated fat was painted as the Darth Vader of nutrition, clogging arteries with every bite. But the truth is more complicated. Saturated fat from a donut is not the same as from a grass-fed steak or full-fat yogurt. The context, what else you eat, and how processed it is, matters way more than a single nutrient. Demonizing all saturated fats equally is like blaming every guy named Steve for one Steve's crime. The problem isn't the fat itself, it's the company it keeps. 27. We've been told since childhood that our skeletons are basically milk-dependent scaffolding, destined to crumble into dust without a daily infusion of dairy. The dairy industry's marketing has been so effective that many people can't even name another source of calcium. But here's the thing. Many populations around the world consume very little dairy and have remarkably low rates of osteoporosis. Your bones need a team of nutrients to stay strong, including vitamin D, vitamin K, and magnesium. You can get plenty of calcium from leafy greens like kale, fortified foods, and fish like sardines. Milk is a source of calcium, not the only source, and certainly not a magic bullet for bone health. 28. Carbohydrates have been cast as the ultimate dietary villain, a single monolithic entity responsible for all of modern society's health woes. This is a dangerously lazy oversimplification. Lumping a bowl of steel-cut oats in with a can of soda is like putting a firefighter and an arsonist in the same category because they both deal with fire. Your body, and especially your brain, runs on glucose, which comes from carbs. The key is the source. Complex carbohydrates from vegetables, legumes, and whole grains provide sustained energy and vital nutrients. Demonizing an entire essential macronutrient is a nutritional witch hunt that serves no one. 29. The daily multivitamin feels like a safety net. Pop one pill, erase your guilt. But unless a doctor's found an actual deficiency, most of those nutrients are just taking a scenic trip through your kidneys. For the average person eating a varied diet, it's mostly expensive urine. Of course, there are exceptions. Pregnancy, vegan diets, or medical deficiencies make supplements essential. But believing a pill can fix bad eating habits? That's like trying to patch a sinking ship with stickers. 30. The term superfood is one of the most successful marketing scams in nutritional history. It implies that certain exotic and usually expensive foods like goji berries or chia seeds possess magical, disease-curing properties that other foods lack. There is no scientific definition of a superfood. They are simply foods, usually plant-based, that are particularly nutrient-dense. A humble blueberry, packed with antioxidants, is just as super as some obscure berry from the Himalayas. The idea of a single food acting as a silver bullet is a fantasy that distracts from the less glamorous but infinitely more effective truth. A balanced diet rich in a variety of fruits and vegetables. 31. There is a frantic, panicked ritual in gyms worldwide driven by the myth of the anabolic window, a sacred 30-minute period post-workout where you must slam a protein shake or your muscles will instantly wither and die. This myth was a gift from heaven to supplement companies. In reality, that window is more like a massive barn door that stays open for several hours. What truly matters for muscle repair and growth is your total protein intake throughout the entire day, not a mad dash to the shaker bottle. Your muscles are not on a self-destruct timer. They're perfectly happy to wait for your next proper meal. 32. The MSG panic of the 1960s is the culinary ghost that refuses to die. One poorly written letter sparked decades of Chinese restaurant syndrome hysteria. But countless double-blind studies found no consistent evidence that MSG harms most people. It's just sodium plus glutamate, the same compound that gives Parmesan cheese, tomatoes, and mushrooms their rich umami flavor. Unless you're one of the rare few who's genuinely sensitive, MSG isn't a villain. It's a flavor upgrade that's been unfairly canceled for 60 years. 33. The raw food movement champions. The idea that cooking food is an act of nutritional vandalism that kills vital enzymes and nutrients. This philosophy conveniently ignores a few million years of human evolution. The discovery of fire and cooking was a monumental leap forward for our species. Cooking breaks down tough plant cell walls and proteins, making many nutrients more bioavailable, not less. The lycopene in a cooked tomato is far more accessible to your body than in a raw one. While overcooking can degrade some vitamins, to claim that raw is always superior is to deny the very innovation that helped our brains grow in the first place. 34. Coffee has been on a wild public relations roller coaster for decades, alternating between being a life-giving elixir and a heart-stopping poison. The persistent myth that it stunts your growth is a particularly ridiculous relic, likely originating from another clever marketing campaign by a competing breakfast beverage company. There is zero scientific evidence to support this claim. In fact, modern research overwhelmingly paints coffee, in moderation, in a positive light, linking it to a reduced risk of several diseases. The only thing coffee might stunt is your ability to fall asleep if you drink it at 9 p.m., but it's certainly not going to prevent you from reaching your full height. 35. The diet industry loves simple villains, and its laziest creation is the no white foods rule. This advice throws the baby out with the bathwater, creating senseless confusion. It absurdly lumps a slice of nutrient-void white bread in with a head of garlic, a powerful anti-inflammatory food. Yes, refined white flour and sugar are worth limiting. But what about cauliflower, onions, turnips, mushrooms, and white beans? All are nutritional powerhouses. Judging a food's health value by its color is as scientifically sound as judging a person's character by their shoe size. It's a simplistic, fear-based rule that encourages people to avoid perfectly healthy and delicious vegetables. 36. Agave nectar was marketed as the holy grail of sweeteners, a natural, low-glycemic alternative to sugar. It was a beautiful lie. Agave is not a wholesome syrup tapped from a cactus by smiling villagers. It's a highly processed product, and its low glycemic status comes from the fact that it's almost pure fructose, even more than high fructose corn syrup. While it doesn't spike your blood glucose, it sends a massive fructose bomb directly to your liver, which is the only organ that can metabolize it in large amounts. This can contribute to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and other metabolic issues. It's not a health food, it's just a different, arguably more insidious type of sugar. 37. The alkaline diet operates on the wildly unscientific premise that you can change your body's fundamental pH balance by eating alkaline foods like lemons. This is pure, unadulterated nonsense. Your body is not a swimming pool that you can adjust with a few chemicals. It maintains the pH of your blood in an incredibly narrow, non-negotiable range, around 7.4. If it deviates even slightly, you end up in an intensive care unit, not a wellness spa. Trying to alter your blood's pH with food is like trying to change the ocean's tides by spitting in it. The diet only seems healthy because it forces you to cut out processed junk and eat more fruits and vegetables, a good outcome for an entirely fictional reason. 38. Those neat calorie numbers on food labels look precise, like science itself. In reality, they're educated guesses based on 19th century methods that burn food in a lab and assume your body works the same way. Spoiler, it doesn't. You don't absorb 100% of what you eat. You get fewer calories from almonds or beans than the label claims because your body can't fully break them down. The takeaway: use calorie counts as a compass, not a courtroom verdict. They point you in the right direction, but they're not the law. Wow. 39. We're often told that fish is brain food, a simple and catchy phrase that's mostly true, but for the wrong reasons. The myth implies that eating fish will somehow make you smarter, like a cognitive power-up. The reality is more about maintenance than enhancement. The omega-3 fatty acids in fish, particularly DHA, are crucial building blocks for your brain's structure and function. Consuming them is essential for maintaining cognitive health and preventing decline as you age. It's not going to turn you into a genius overnight. It's more like changing the oil in your car. It won't turn your Honda into a Ferrari, but it will keep the engine running smoothly for longer. 40. The endless search for a perfect diet is the ultimate nutritional lie. Whether it's keto, paleo, vegan, or any other rigid ideology, The belief that there is one single, universally correct way for all 8 billion humans to eat is patently absurd. We are all genetically unique, with different metabolisms, lifestyles, and gut microbiomes. The perfect diet for you might be a terrible one for someone else. The healthiest approach isn't about subscribing to a strict food cult. It's about focusing on universal principles: eat whole foods, prioritize plants, limit processed junk, and, most importantly, find a sustainable way of eating that you actually enjoy and can stick with for the long haul. We've just dismantled 40 nutritional lies, but I know some of you are still holding on. So here's the challenge. Find the one lie in this video you refuse to accept and defend it in the comments with everything you've got. Let's see which myth dies the hardest. While you're down there preparing for battle, hit the like and subscribe buttons to join the rebellion.